Hello and welcome. Would first like to thank you for your consideration and willingness to participate as an STEM ambassador for this year's Engaging Girls in STEM 2021 program. This video is in preparation as well as a way for you to get some clarifications and understandings about some of the events that we would like for you to consider offering to students, but also taking part in. Our objectives for this particular program is threefold. We want to ensure that girls in the LA County area are exposed to as many STEM careers as much as possible. We want to create the opportunities as well as experiences for them, even in this virtual environment. But more importantly, we would like for them to have some kind of enthusiasm or curiosity about what it might be like to actually work in those STEM fields. More importantly, we would also like to provide them with access to resources. And one of those resources are access to female ambassadors just like you. I'd like to go ahead and take you through the plan book and explain how the Engaging Girls in STEM program developed, and then how we have pivoted for the 2021 school year. So the Engaging Girls in STEM program started off with some seed money about 4 years ago, back in 2017. Back then, we were able to accommodate 120 students, targeting 4th grade through 12th grade. Taking the lessons learned from 2017, we changed the target population to 6th through 12th grade girls from that point forward, and we were able to expand the program just a little bit to about 250 girls. Since then, we've been able to maintain a cap of about 350 girls for the last 2 years. Just to provide some context about LA County itself, LA County is home to about 33% of the entire student population in California. That roughly equals out to about 1.9 million students just in LA County alone. So 350 students is really minuscule in terms of who we want to provide opportunities and experiences with. And so with the pivot for the 2021, with the ability to now offer things in a virtual environment, we are expanding this out to the entire LA County basin. There is also an opportunity here where we may also see students that are outside of LA County, which we will not be able to control, but so much the better for us. Some of the deliverables here has always been access to ambassadors, to allow students to be able to speak to female ambassadors on a one-to-one basis, or at least as much of that to possible, as much as possible. Again, we also want to have students to have opportunity and experiences through hands-on activities, and that's part of the side of our program where we're bringing in exhibitors as well to help us out. We are also hoping that through this program, teachers, administrators, parent chaperones, et cetera, also have an opportunity to see how these experiences could be created and then replicated back at their own school site, back in their own districts. But more importantly for you, the ambassadors, this is a way for you to create your networking and partnership opportunities, but it's also a platform for you to connect and give back as well. So in the past, it was the Engaging Girls in STEM program was literally one day in about 6 hours. And again, with the pivot to online, we have decided to go for the gusto. And we are going to offer the Engaging Girls in STEM program, not in one day, but over a course of 3.5 months. So we're hoping to launch in mid-February and then continue all the way through the month of May. One of the major changes is that we are also including is that we each month will have a theme. So you can see here on the slide, we've got the month of February with empowerment, the future is yours for the taking. March, collaboration, it takes a team to change the world. April, creativity and innovations, out of the box thinking leads to new ideas, as well as May, exploration, daring to go where no one has gone before. We are also hoping that with each of these months, we tie in as quickly or as carefully as possible other events that might be taking place either nationally or locally, such as the International Day of Women, Girls, and Sciences. In March, it's Women's History Month, different competitions that are taking place at a local, regional, or statewide level, such as the Science and Engineering Fairs, Science Olympiads, et cetera, et cetera. Our primary audience this year are girls in grades 3rd grade through 12th grade. And again, because of the virtual platform, we have a secondary audience of girls in kinder through 2nd grade, teachers, administrators, coaches, parents, as well as boys. And just to let you know that the boys, that's been a long ways coming over the last 4 years. You can just imagine the amount of emails I get about why aren't you doing anything for boys? So even though it's called Engaging Girls in STEM, we are going to offer this up to boys as well. But our, again, primary audience are the girls in LA County. Some of the things that we would like to go over with you right now are all the various activities that you could potentially take part in, participate in, but that is also something that we will also assist you in terms of preparation, as well as thinking about what that might look like. So one of the first events is also one of our core programming or our signature practice, which is the Meet an Ambassador program. And the Meet an Ambassador program, for a real quick idea of what that's like, think of it as speed dating, but in this case, it's speed meeting. So in order to prepare for this, or in order for students to prepare for this, but for you to also prepare for this, we are asking that you will provide us with a introductory video, a biographical video, about 3 to 5 minutes long, and we'll talk about some of the things that we would like in those intro videos as well. But on top of that, we'll also need to have some time with you to also go through a practice run with you, as well as 1 or 2 planning meetings so that you have an idea of what's going on. Now, for the experienced ambassadors or returning ambassadors, thank you so much. The only thing that's brand new to you would probably be those intro videos, but it's going to be pretty much the same format in this virtual platform. So we'll be using the Zoom product as our platform, and so you'll all be in breakout rooms when it comes time to go through the rotations. The idea is to have you each in a room with no more than maybe 8 to 10 girls, and then you'll have about 20 minutes with each group of girls. So 20 minutes will roughly equals to about maybe a 5-minute intro if you still need that, and then followed by 15 minutes of questioning. Now, one of the things that we definitely hope will happen is that as students are watching your videos, your biographical videos, they will start to generate some questions about what is it that they might want to ask you, whether it's about your career, whether it's about how you got there, whether it's about preparation. But we don't know what kinds of questions these girls will ask. We do hope that it is going to be professional, and also will be explicit enough in terms of it's something that you'll be able to answer. Some of the things that we are also hoping that you will do is create a LinkedIn profile. That way, if students want to follow up with you, they can go through the LinkedIn rather than having you share your personal email or work email and have the potential explosion of questions coming from girls. But this is also a possibility for you to start a mentoring program, or thinking about some kind of mentorship with students as well. And we'll provide some more information about the Meet the Ambassador event as well. this is brand new because again of the virtual platform, but it is the idea of a play with an ambassador. So going back to the idea of we want students to have opportunities or experiences to see what a STEM career is like. So in this one, we're thinking about you providing a 30 to 45-minute opportunity or experience. It could be live or pre-recorded. Now, the difference between the two is that live is it's going to be much more interactive than a pre-recorded video. But there are ways to still create that pre-recorded video to make it as interactive as possible. Um, Again, we want you to still talk to the audience, which are our girls, and then potentially answer questions from them as well. For the hands-on activity, it could be anything that you could creatively think about that students might be able to replicate at home. So that also means that if you are thinking about doing hands-on activity, what kinds of activities or what kinds of materials would students have available in their home that you can potentially think about? Send me an email with the list of things that you think students will need. That way I can go ahead and send an email out to all of the registered students. By the way, yes, as far as all of the events that you do with me, we'll be able to set up the registration. We'll take care of the Zoom platforms. We'll take care of the recordings, but we will also be the ones not just hosting the Zoom. We'll also assist you with the chat box, etc., so that all you have to do is just focus on you delivering the show, so to speak. Um, During these opportunities, we also want you to think about how your discussions or conversations can also tie into the theme, the monthly theme as much as possible. During these 30 to 45 minutes, as you are talking to kids as well, we hope that you're able to also relate your experiences to your job. More importantly, as far as the prep, you may also want to think about getting some potential new equipment as well, such as a video stand or a video camera to maybe hold your phone so that you can record yourself doing this or have it pointed to you. But you may also want to create some kind of space where you can also easily display all of the materials that the students might need. Now, if you aren't thinking about a hands-on activity, another opportunity here is to create platform where you talk about or give them a virtual tour. So maybe you work in a lab, for instance, and instead of play with an ambassador, it's a virtual tour of my job with an ambassador. And so that's an opportunity and experience that you can also create for students. A day in the life, dose of reality possibilities. So again, this ties in with that whole follow me around. Here's a tour of my laboratory or work environment. So again, here you want to think about maybe like a shadow following you around. So again, here you should consider the length of time, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. Again, it can be live or pre-recorded because again, in this one, it is you taking students around and talking about what you do on a daily basis in your career. Again, in that time, we want you to address the theme, talk about some of the highlights of your career, your duties. We would also like for you to think about the story as well, or your personal story that you can share with girls. Some things like how you got there, what were some of the obstacles or struggles. Some of the some parts of the story that you may want to consider are the realistic obstacles. So, for instance, research shows that as far as engineering jobs, many of the engineering jobs are still male dominated. And as a result, it's hard to kind of crack that glass ceiling. But this is kind of an important part of the story to tell students, especially our girls, of how do you deal with it? Have you faced it? If you haven't faced it, do you have colleagues who seem to have faced it? And how did they deal with it? Maybe it's about all of your successes and how you are also breaking barriers or being a model as well. So in this case, think about how to be as inspirational as possible. Again, some of the prep work here is maybe you want a selfie stick as you're taking students around your job, if you are able to do that. But again, it's pretty low key in the sense that it is still a casual talk, but this time in that virtual environment. One of the things that we are also very excited about is the concept of the speaker series. So we have a small committee who are going to be working on the concept of the speaker series in terms of the content, and the speaker series are obviously going to be tied into the theme. But again, in the speaker series, and this is just one speaker, and we're hoping to have in the series, the monthly series, maybe 2 to 4 speakers, so maybe 1 speaker a week. But again, in that speaker series, we want to know who you are, again, addressing the theme as much as possible, again, sharing your journey to your job, so the story, and then obviously, of course, setting aside time to talk to students, or at least responding to students. We want you to think about how to address or create that positive messaging as you tell your story, as you talk to the audience. And again, this is where the small committee is going to be helpful here, because they will again provide you with context, as well as other talking points or suggestions. One of the things I would love to hear in this speaker series is we want girls to also understand that whatever job they decide to pursue, we want them to also know that they aren't going to be stuck into it, or they're not going to be locked in. So if, for instance, if they want to go into biology, it doesn't lock them into just becoming a field biologist. It may actually open up doors into chemistry, physics, astronomy, astronomy, water science, whatever it is. But we want them to see that just because they've picked a career or picked a subject, it doesn't necessarily lock them in. So we also want you to provide some tips and advice here as well. And again, we will back you up as much as we can, support you. So again, we will be hosting the platform. You'll work with a facilitator or a moderator. And then potentially we could have as many as 300 girls. We might only have 50 girls. But if we have enough engagement or registration, we could potentially open this up to thousands of girls as well. Now, don't worry, when it comes to the questions, the students will not be asking you their questions live in terms of they'll turn on their video and ask a question. We'll use the chat box and then hopefully use that chat box and say, hi, Ambassador so-and-so. Here's a question from Lila. Here's a question from Chloe. She would like to know, and then you will kind of respond to that. So we'll help monitor that chat box again with you, but you'll also be on the call or on the platform with a moderator as well to kind of help move things along. Another key signature of our program is also the panel. So in the panel, we're thinking about having 2 to 3 panelists, again, with a moderator as well. And this will happen at the end of each month. So that last week of each month is when we'll hold the panel. The speaker series, we would love to see happening once a week, starting at the very beginning of each month. February, we're probably only going to have just maybe the panel, and then we may have a speaker series that starts in February and continues on into March. So again, just something for you to think about. And we will have another small separate committee that is going to work on the concept and the logistics of the panel series as well. But in the panel series, again, you will probably need to schedule 1 to 2 meetings prior to the live event. Again, we will provide you with some potential questions to kind of work with. But again, you'll have a moderator to work with as well. And all of our moderators will be former ambassadors, so they know what it's like to speak to students, et cetera, et cetera. So we hope to be recording these panels and then be able to release it as an archive webinar for more students to watch. So we would like to create a much larger impact and influence. Don't worry, students will have their videos off here. Again, the chats will be locked until it's time for Q&A. And again, we could potentially have a large crowd here as well. All right. As far as the ambassador activities, again, some things that we would like from you is the creation of a video clip, a bio clip. So again, your name, company, job title, highlight your accomplishment, education degrees, things for you to think about in that 5-minute bio. And if it's 3 minutes, it's fine. Shorter, it's fine. But maybe who were your inspirations? How did you know what you wanted to do? What was the preparation, or what was it? What was the pathway to get into the career that you had? Support, and then maybe even ending that video clip with words of advice. Once we have those video bios, this is probably the slide that we will use to create the image of you. So we're going to hopefully have your photo here. We'll put your photo here along with your with a link to your video clip here. And again, girls will then be able to watch that as they prepare for the event with you, whatever the event might be. And we hope that you will be able to participate in more than one type of event. If not in 1 month, then maybe in February, step back in March, come back in April, etc. But we would love for you to engage with this program in more than one event, in more than one capacity, if you are able to. And again, we want to work with your schedule as well. Most importantly, as you prepare for this, it's really about you being as creative as possible. You really do have a lot of control over the content as well, especially if you are going to be selected as part of the speakers or part of the panelists. So again, we will work with you on that. If you like this slide deck or the backgrounds, and we can actually provide this template for you if you would like, but you don't need to use a PowerPoint. If you do create your own PowerPoint, feel free to use your own templates, but we will make this slide deck available for you for your own PowerPoints if you would like to use that. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at any time. And then you also have the contact information for, or the email addresses of 2 former ambassadors, Julie Jester Newman and Janelle Wellens as well. So please feel free to contact us at any time. And if you still have more questions after this, again, contact us. But once you're done watching this, this is your opportunity to then go back to the second link that I'll provide to you. And in that second link, that's going to be the official confirmation of your participation. So that's where you will select, I would like to help with the panel series. I would like to be considered for the speaker. I would love to do the Play with an Ambassador or a day in the life. And then you get to choose which month that you would like to also participate in. But again, feel free to do anything that you would like. So if you don't like any of the activity that we've come up with, and you have another experience that you would like to think or deliver for students, please go ahead and use that form, type it in, let us know, and then we'll definitely contact you if we have any questions. But if not, well, then we can go ahead and set a lot of the things up upon contacting you once we receive your final confirmation. But I hope you have got your questions answered. I hope we've provided some more explicit clarifications about some of the activities and how you can participate. Again, we will send you this PowerPoint. We will also send you a blank template along with this recording so that you can refer to it as you continue to think about how you may want to participate in this year's Engaging Girls in STEM event. Again, we cannot do this without your support or your participation. So I thank you on behalf of the girls here in LA County. And on behalf of the LA County Office of Education, I bid you a good day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.